And Atlantis has always been the big one. That has been the one that everybody talked about, was this incredibly advanced civilization.
It is a site that most people have never seen or heard of before.
For centuries, the Sahara Desert has been seen as a vast barren wasteland with nothing but endless stretches of sand and dunes. But what if we told you that everything you thought you knew about the Sahara was wrong? What if there was more to this enigmatic desert than meets the eye? In a shocking turn of events, guests on the Joe Rogan podcast have started to reveal some of the hidden truths about the Sahara, and we're here to uncover them with you. Join us on a journey through the unknown as we explore the secrets of one of the world's most mysterious and misunderstood places. The Sahara Desert, situated in Africa, is a fascinating and mysterious landscape that has captured the attention of many for centuries. As the largest hot desert in the world, covering an enormous 9.2 million square kilometers, it is no wonder that the Sahara has become a place of both wonder and dread. Interestingly, while it is one of the harshest environments on the planet, it is not the largest desert in the world. That title is held by the polar deserts of the Antarctica and the Arctic. Nevertheless, the Sahara's vast expanse is breathtaking and covers most of the North African region, except for the coastal region of the Mediterranean Sea, the Atlas Mountains, and the Nile Valley. The Sahara is surrounded by bodies of water like the Red Sea in the east, the Mediterranean Sea in the north, and the Atlantic Ocean in the west. In the south, it borders the semi-arid tropical savanna belt of the Sahel. The Sahara is made up of different regions like the Western Sahara, the Central Ahaggar Mountains, the Tibesti Mountains, the Air Mountains, the Tenere Desert, and the Libyan Desert. Life in the Sahara Desert is heavily influenced by the desert climate, which shapes the vegetation and animal life in this unforgiving environment. The harsh desert climate is determined by various features, including temperature and precipitation, which affect daily life in the Sahara. Due to its location in the horse latitudes under the subtropical ridge, the low-latitude desert climate is affected by a significant belt of semi-permanent subtropical warm core high-pressure region where the air descends from the upper troposphere, warming and drying up the lower troposphere. As a result, the Sahara has very few to no clouds, making the sky mostly clear and sunshine duration very high, with some places reaching 91% of the daylight hours. The lack of clouds allows uninterrupted sunlight and thermal radiation, affecting the hot desert climate, vegetation, and animal life in the Sahara. The average rainfall in the Sahara is around 100 to 250 millimeters over the entire desert area, which is very low, leading to sand temperatures exceeding 80 degrees Celsius in some places. These factors contribute to the harsh and dry desert climate, making life in the Sahara incredibly challenging. And the Sahara Desert may seem like an inhospitable place, but is actually home to a surprisingly diverse range of plants and animals. The acacia tree, date palm, and cactus are just a few of the desert-adapted plants that thrive in this harsh environment. The desert is also home to a variety of herbivores and predators, such as antelopes, gazelles, cheetah, leopard, and hyena. Reptiles and birds are also prevalent in the Sahara, making it a unique ecosystem. Despite its remote location, the Sahara plays an important role in regulating the Earth's climate, reflecting sunlight and absorbing carbon dioxide. The sand dunes and rocky plateaus offer important habitats for the plants and animals that call the Sahara home. The Sahara Desert is also a treasure trove of mysteries, and one of the most intriguing is the enigmatic Eye of the Sahara. This geological wonder, also called the Rishat structure or the Gulb-er-Rishat, is a massive bullseye-shaped formation that spans 40 kilometers of the Mauritanian desert. The Eye of the Sahara has sparked controversy and fascination, with Joe Rogan himself delving into the mystery and inviting guest speaker Jimmy Corsetti to share his jaw-dropping claim that this structure might be the elusive lost city of Atlantis.
There's a location in the Western Sahara Desert of Mauritania called the Rishat structure. It's also commonly referred to as the Eye of the Sahara. And it says, lost ancient Roman map has Atlantis in Sahara, Africa.
For centuries, the Eye of the Sahara was a secret known only to a few nomadic tribes. But in the 1960s, the Gemini astronauts took a photograph of it for the first time and used it as a landmark for their mission. Later, the Landsat satellite captured even more detailed images and data of the formation, shedding light on its size, height, and extent. While Jimmy Corsetti claims the Eye of the Sahara is the lost city of Atlantis, many scientists disagree about its origin. Some geologists believe it to be a geologic dome formed by volcanic activity millions of years ago. The formation contains rocks that are over 100 million years old, including igneous and sedimentary layers that were formed by wind and water deposits. These rocks offer a glimpse into the Saharan past, which was once lush and full of flowing water. Now picture this, a temperate period in the Sahara, where sandstone rocks were deposited by winds and water in the bottoms of lakes and rivers. But then the subsurface of volcanic flow pushed up the overlying layers of sandstone and other rocks. Wind and water erosion did their job, and the circular Eye of the Sahara emerged. Scientists have been fascinated by this structure and its origins. They believe that the eye's formation dates back to the time when the supercontinent Pangaea began to break up. As magma pushed up from deep within the Earth's mantle, a circle-shaped rocky dome surrounded by layers of sandstone was formed. The eroding igneous rocks and sandstone caused the dome to collapse, leaving behind circular ridges and giving the Rishat structure its unique shape. Nowadays, the eye is slightly sunken below the level of the surrounding landscapes, revealing secrets about the Sahara's past. Meanwhile, some scientists entertain the idea that the Rishat structure was formed by the impact of a meteor on Earth, but they lack concrete evidence to support this theory. Despite this, Corsetti has come forward with evidence that the Eye of the Sahara may be the long-lost city of Atlantis. For centuries, the search for Atlantis has stumped historians and scholars alike, with ancient philosopher Plato describing it as a grand island with concentric walls and canals located near the Rock of Gibraltar. While some believed it was submerged in the Atlantic, others have proposed that it may be hidden in the Mediterranean or even under Antarctica. But recent studies suggest that the true location of Atlantis lies in the waters between Spain and Morocco, near the city of Cadiz. With this discovery, researchers may be one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of this mythical lost city. Now let's delve into the intriguing story of Atlantis, as described by Plato and other ancient sources. Imagine a time long ago when the world was still full of wonder and mystery. In this time, there existed a kingdom that surpassed all others in splendor and majesty, a kingdom known as Atlantis. According to Plato, this underwater city was an island larger than the vast regions of Libya and Asia combined, with travelers able to journey from it to other islands and even the continent across the veritable ocean. Early Christian author Tertullian agreed with Plato on the size of Atlantis, while others have proposed different locations and scales for the city. The American Christian mystic Edgar Cayce even suggested that Atlantis was the same size as Eurasia. Legend has it that Poseidon, god of the seas, storms and earthquakes, built Atlantis after falling in love with a mortal woman named Clito. To keep her safe, he constructed the city on top of a hill on an isolated island in the sea, and it was named Atlantis. Poseidon searched the world for the largest island and found it in Atlantis, which was inhabited by people who were more beautiful and intelligent than any others. He met and fell in love with Clito, and the city he built for her was surrounded by rings of water and land, connected by 5 tunnels and a vast canal. Ships could pass through the tunnels, and every route to the city was guarded by gates and towers. The wall surrounding the rings was made of red, white, and black rock, adorned with precious metals, and was a sight to behold. Can you imagine the grandeur of this magnificent city built out of love? As the legend goes, there was a hill called the Hill of Clito, where Poseidon supposedly cast a spell on his wife Clito due to his doubts about her loyalty. This hill was surrounded by large moats and pillars. Clito and Poseidon had 10 sons, 5 of whom were pairs of twins, and the eldest was named Atlas. The city of Atlantis was inherited by all 10 sons, but Atlas, being the firstborn, became the first ruler of the city. There is also a belief that the brothers built an enormous temple for their father, which housed a massive statue of Poseidon riding a chariot drawn by winged horses made entirely of gold. The temple had a spiral roof that was so high that clouds could drift through it. Atlantis was known as a fertile and beautiful city where half human, half gods lived, and it was thought to be an independent region where people grew their food and raised animals. The farmers in the city used an efficient irrigation system to grow crops in the fertile plains on the outskirts, while architects constructed impressive black and red stone buildings. The Atlanteans also had access to rare metals and alloys like brass and made extensive use of crystals for entertainment and experimentation. They had plenty of free time to play with volcanoes too. Despite being shrouded in mystery, Edgar Cayce, among other researchers and historians, believed that the lost city would rise again with the sun from the sea. Cayce even predicted that a new landmass would appear off the east coast of North America, and many Atlantean souls would reincarnate in America to usher in a new era of human consciousness. According to some theories, the original residents of Atlantis were not humans at all, but extraterrestrial beings who landed on our planet 50,000 years ago. These otherworldly visitors were said to be taller and fairer than any human you've ever seen, with an astonishing lifespan of 800 years. Some even claim that the inhabitants of Atlantis City had superhuman abilities, like the power to control the weather or tame volcanic eruptions. They may have also possessed a mysterious device capable of harnessing energy from time and space. But how did the great civilization of Atlantis meet its demise? This legendary society was renowned for its advancements in fields like architecture, agriculture, and technology, as well as for its diverse population and emphasis on spiritual growth. With an unbeatable navy and military and powerful rulers, Atlantis was at the height of its power. However, like Rome, the Atlanteans eventually fell. In a fateful turn of events, they waged a war of aggression against parts of Asia and were defeated by the Athenian army. The gods then unleashed a series of natural disasters on the empire, including tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods. As if admitting their wrongdoing, Atlantis shattered and sank beneath the waves, disappearing forever. Atlantis has long been a subject of mystery and fascination. But what did Corsetti have to say about it? According to him, Atlantis was an empire consisting of 10 kingdoms, with a lost city that served as its capital. And it turns out there's a ton of evidence to support this theory. For instance, Plato's relative, Solon, who actually traveled to Egypt and learned about Atlantis firsthand, passed on his stories to Plato. And in Plato's Timaeus and Critias dialogues, Atlantis is described as having 3 zones of water and 2 of land, a description that fits perfectly with the Rishat structure. Even the mountains that surround the area are said to have represented the gods, and they just so happen to be in the same place as the mountains described in Plato's account. But the similarities don't end there. Plato also wrote about a sea to the south of Atlantis and a surrounding desert, both of which can be seen in satellite images of the Rishat structure. And in the center of Atlantis was an island that produced fresh water, something that's also present in the Rishat structure's central circle. The eye's landscape is also marked by rivers and waterfalls, just as Plato described. In fact, satellite images reveal that the region was hit by a tsunami, a weather system that Plato claimed was responsible for the destruction of Atlantis. So what else connects the Rishat structure to Atlantis? Well, Mauritania, where the eye is located, is known for its copper and gold, 2 materials that were abundant throughout the Atlantean Empire. And while elephants and other animals were said to be plentiful in Atlantis, many elephant bones have been discovered near the eye. The eye is also rich in black, red, and lighter colored rocks, just like Atlantis. And thousands of artifacts that date back at least 12,000 years have been discovered in and around the Rishat structure, including arrowheads, spears, and ship parts. And if that wasn't enough, here's one last intriguing detail. Atlantis was ruled by 10 kings, each one ruling over a different kingdom. According to legend, these kings were born as 5 sets of twins, and each twin ruled one of the kingdoms. And guess what? Nigeria, which is close to Mauritania, has the highest rate of twin births in the world. Coincidence? Maybe, or maybe there's more to the story of Atlantis than we ever imagined. Furthermore, scientists have recently made a groundbreaking discovery in the desert. Beneath the golden sands of the Sahara Desert lies a fascinating secret, a prehistoric megalake. This massive body of water was formed around 250,000 years ago when the Nile River carved a low channel near Wadi Tushka, flooding the eastern Sahara and creating a lake that once spanned over 42,000 square miles at its highest level. 2 images revealed the incredible size of this ancient lake, towering 810 feet above sea level. Geologists from the National Air and Space Museum have recently uncovered evidence of the mega lake while analysing radar data of Egypt taken by the Space Shuttle Radar Topography mission. With the help of wind-blown sediments, sediments formed by water, and bedrock detected by radar beneath the desert sand, they were able to piece together a profile of the prehistoric lake. The aridity of Egypt enhances the radar's ability to see distinct subsurface features, revealing buried channels that go as deep as 50 feet below the surface. By studying the fossils of ancient fish, the researchers determined that the Nile River once flooded the entire Kasiba-Tushka Depression, creating this giant lake. Interestingly, the location of Paleolithic human settlements near Salima and Tafawi correspond to the area of the lake, indicating that these regions were highly sought after for their access to water. Further evidence of a second, smaller lake at 623 feet above sea level was also discovered near Bir Kasiba, suggesting that the desert was once home to numerous lakes. These findings provide valuable insight into early human migration patterns in North Africa. The Sahara Desert never ceases to amaze us with its secrets, and one of the most fascinating finds is a meteorite called ERG Czech 002 or EC002, which is believed to have formed before the Earth even existed. This space rock was created within the crust of an ancient protoplanet, a celestial body that contributed to the formation of planets. This andesitic meteorite is unique and offers an unparalleled glimpse into planetary formation during the early days of the solar system. Jean-Alex Barrat and his team of scientists at the University of Western Brittany in France were thrilled to get their hands on this one-of-a-kind piece of space history. They knew from previous research that EC002 could be incredibly old and were eager to examine it in depth. The meteorite was named after its landing site in Algeria, the Erg Czech Dune, and is made up of multiple pieces that weigh a total of around 70 pounds. These beautiful crystals were discovered in May 2020, but weathering on the rocks indicates that they fell in the desert much earlier. The researchers are particularly interested in how such extraterrestrial rocks came to be and how they formed primordial crusts, making EC002 an invaluable tool for unlocking the mysteries of the universe's beginnings. Barrat and his team were able to precisely determine when a piece of protoplanet crust, which had turned into lava, solidified by examining meteorite samples. The rock's magnesium and aluminium isotopes showed that it formed around 4.566 billion years ago, making it the oldest known piece of igneous crust in existence. For comparison, the next oldest igneous meteorite is 1.24 million years younger than EC002, and Earth formed millions of years after these rocks. The meteorite's unusual composition is another point of interest, with 58% silicon dioxide suggesting that the parent body had an andesite crust, which is uncommon in igneous materials found on Earth. These crusts were likely abundant in the early solar system, but have since become extremely rare. The discovery of EC002 provides valuable insight into the formation of planets in the early days of the solar system. The remnants of primordial crusts are scarce in the meteorite record and the asteroid belt today, implying that most of the debris from early protoplanets was either destroyed or incorporated into larger bodies like Earth. This discovery is a rare and remarkable occurrence that sheds light on the turbulent history of our solar system. The team of scientists speculates that EC002 was ejected from its parent body due to a collision with another rock, just a few decades after its crust had cooled and solidified. This stunning discovery offers a unique glimpse into the formation of planets and their development in the early days of the solar system, long before the existence of Earth. Jean-Alex Barrat and his team are keen to conduct additional isotopic studies to confirm the age of EC002, while also focusing on examining the crystals within the rock, which are even older than the surrounding volcanic matter. The findings from this research are expected to provide further insights into the origins of our solar system and the processes involved in planet formation. The Sahara Desert is well known for its barren landscape, but it might surprise you to learn that it was once a flourishing forest. The transformation from a lush green forest to a hot, dry desert is nothing short of astonishing. What exactly caused this transformation, and is it possible that the Sahara could once again support a vibrant rainforest? The Sahara Desert, one of the most arid and desolate places on Earth, has a fascinating history that many people don't know about. According to scientists, the desert has gone through a cycle of turning into a savanna grassland and back again every 20,000 years due to the Earth's axis precession. Right now, the Sahara is in a dry period, but in around 15,000 years, it will become a lush grassland once again. This change is caused by the North African monsoon shifting due to the Earth's axial movement around the Sun. This area was once teeming with life and home to a vast array of animals such as dinosaurs, crocodiles, and other ancient creatures, as evidenced by the many fossils and petroglyphs found there. However, a shift in the Earth's axis led to an abrupt desertification process, causing temperatures to rise and precipitation to decrease. This resulted in the Sahara becoming the hot, barren desert we know today. Interestingly, the monsoon weakened millions of years ago due to the drying of the ancient Tethys Sea. However, the people living on the edges of the Sahara have adapted to the desert's harsh conditions since the end of the last glacial period. Today, the only green areas in the Sahara are around the Nile Valley, a few oases, and the northern highlands where Mediterranean plants such as olive trees grow. What's interesting to climate scientists about the Green Sahara is how abruptly it appeared and vanished. The termination of the Green Sahara took only 200 years, Johnson said. The change in solar radiation was gradual, but the landscape changed suddenly. The next Northern Hemisphere summer insolation maximum, when the Green Sahara could reappear, is projected to happen again about 10,000 years from now in AD 12,000 or AD 13,000. But what scientists can't predict is how greenhouse gases will affect this natural climate cycle. Despite its ecological importance, the Sahara Desert faces many challenges, such as climate change, overgrazing, and human intervention. Due to the changing climate, rising temperatures, and decreased rainfall, the desertification process is spreading throughout various parts of northern Africa, leading to the expansion of the desert. Additionally, overgrazing and agriculture are contributing to the deterioration of the Sahara's delicate ecosystem. Nonetheless, efforts are being made to conserve and safeguard the desert's unique flora and fauna. Organizations such as the Sahara Conservation Fund and the Sahara and Sahel Observatory are working towards protecting wildlife, ecosystems, and encouraging sustainable development in the region. We'd love to hear what aspect of the Sahara Desert enthralls you the most. Share your thoughts in the comments below.